Hi everyone, we are back live again. Sorry about all that. Don't know what the go was, but let's hope we've sorted it. So I'll just recap what we've done. So what I did was I got the backing, I've placed it right side facing down. I've taped it all the way along the top of the table and then all the way down the sides. Now I do one side first, just normal, without pulling it or anything. Then the other side I pull it a bit tauter and I tape it down as I go. Just make sure the tape is catching the backing fabric. Hello Yvonne, hoping this time for a bit of luck. The backing fabric and also it goes down the side of your table. Now, like I said before, I don't know about you. Once upon a time I used to do these on the floor. I can't get up off the floor anymore, so that no longer happens. Then I have joined two bits of wadding together because this wasn't quite long and wide enough. Now wadding has a right side and a wrong side. So the wrong side has like little dimples and the other side is soft and less dimply. You'll still feel it. Hey, Andrea. How you going, honey? Hi, Maya. So my next step after this is to then tape the actual wadding down. Yep, we're going to tape the wadding down. So, come over to your other side. And sometimes you might need to do it twice. So what I like to do is come off the quilt onto the table, and what you'll find is that you'll grab the wadding, and not much more wadding, less backing fabric, right? So if you've got a wide tape, that works really well. You'll only need to come across once, and again, I'm not pulling this taut, I'm just going across, and I come across with the second one and overlap that tape. So it catches that previous tape, and also now it's catching the tape that's already been used on the backing fabric. And I push that down as I go. Okay, until we come off the side. Then, now with these sides, I just tape it down. Again, I'll do the double tape thing, but I'll only tape it down to the actual backing fabric. It doesn't need to go all the way across. You can do it in a couple of strips if you want to. If you've got really wide tape, you can go right across. I'm going to come down here and I'm overlapping as I go. And on here. Now, because it's sort of floppy there, I'm actually going to grab that and tape to the side. I'm going to repeat this for the other side of the quilt. Come down the table on this side. Tape down onto there. Oops, I need another tape. Back in 2 ticks. Got a new one now, I've just got to find the end of it. There it is. Okie doke. Go across, down, tape onto your backing fabric, just keeping it nice and taut. I haven't really pulled it because I've brushed it along. It doesn't need to be pulled along. And tape across the side just to hold that edge. Okay, all right. What is the pull noodle method? Oh, you roll it up on it and it pulls it taut. I haven't done it before, so I'm not really sure. I use pull, yeah, I haven't used that method before. All right, then I grab my quilt top. I like this method because I can walk around it on either side. Hi Naomi. There are YouTube videos on it. So now I just place this on. Get my tape. Go up to the top. Now you'll have like an edge of the wadding that's sort of like it's a selvage, so to speak. If you find your wadding is not quite wide enough, don't stress over it too much. You can always add to it. And again, I tape the top. I might just grab that and just line it up. Yeah, I might need to add a little bit, but I can do that later. And just line up your top as straight as you can. Yeah, might need to add a little bit on the side. No big deal. I can do that when I'm doing it. So what happens when you put this down, you'll stretch it out. You'll stretch out your quilt. Put a little bit of tension on it, and it'll make it a little bit wider. As soon as you take out all the pins and that, it'll go back. So I'm just doing a little bit at a time to get to the end, and then go off the side. And you can do 2 lots of tape if you want to. That was a pin. Just to hold that top down. Nice and easy. Oops. Do this side. So you'd line that up with the side of your wadding and tape it down. All this tape comes off. Really easy. Do the second row so it goes and sticks down to the backing. Can you zoom out? See if I can. I don't think I can. I think I'm out as far as I can go. I might be able to do this. Get a little bit more view that way. I'll just pop it up on a thing. Okay. So then one side I haven't pulled it taut or anything. And then just tape that down there. Make sure that's down now. You can still see it's got lines. You can see where it's needs to be pulled across, and this is where you do that, this side. So I do need to add a little bit on, but like I say, I can do that later. That pin needs to stay there. Now this is where you'll go and straighten up your lines, but don't overdo it, because once you release the quilt, it's twice I've done that now. Get in there. It'll all sort of soften out a bit anyway. I didn't use pins. I don't use spray mine. Never had any issues. Pins can leave marks if left in for long periods of time. Personal choice. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. because I'm going to, the other thing I do too is I'll baste on the long arm. So I'll go to the long arm and I'll actually baste it down. That's a really good option. So place on a little bit on the fabric and then just sort of pull it across. You can lift and pull across, but try not to pull it out of shape. Now, this will also, with something like this will also help to keep those edges in place, because they, so I can tell by looking at this that my sewing was really quick. That I've done it really quickly. So you don't want to put too much, you can see apart. You don't want to put too much pressure on. The tape will help to hold that down. And this will also help me try and keep these a little bit straighter. Yeah, I need to add on. Alrighty. Tear. Tear. Thank you. And alright, so basically now I'm ready to pin. And like I say, you don't have to pin it to death. You can literally pin, I normally pin about a fist apart for sit downing at the sit down at the machine. So I'm going to go to the other you've got going on with your quilt. I'm just starting at the top because I want to get that in nice. Let's see, that needs a bit of move. But you can use your safety pins, either. And because I can't pull down that way, I can manipulate this side still. What I'm trying to feel for underneath is I'm feeling for the fabric or the tape or whatever's under there. And pinning it in. Just make sure you get your corners. The easier it is. I'm going to try and bind those babies first. And little booger. So this is your time consuming part of it. You can sit and do this, won't hurt the quilt at all. Just going down the center here a little. And I can feel the 3 layers underneath. They don't have to be in line with each other. Nothing. And most people have pins in stock. Come on, come through. And funny enough, your ones that you've bent and curved, they tend to work really easy. Going that way, put one through the opposite direction along the side facing downwards, not crossways as well. And again, it only needs to be about a fist apart. I find that if you overpin, it just causes issues later on. That is some serious bent pin, that one. So Is everyone understanding what I'm doing right now? It all makes sense so far. On the sides, it can be a little bit difficult. If it's giving you a hard time, try and come from the opposite direction. Sometimes that can work. Or put a bend in your pin, like I just did, and it'll pop up through. And the reason why I'm not over pinning is because when I get to the machine, I'm going to work from the top and work my way down. So I'm going to be able to smooth this out as I go and make it nice and even. It's too small a pin when I want to play. So this will be like watching grass grow for you. I've had a few people request on how to do it if you don't have a long arm, and this is the best way for me to. Alrighty. Almost halfway through. Oops, already done there. Here. If you see an area that you think, oh, you know, I could probably do with a couple extra pins there, just put them in. Rather than stress yourself out about it, just pop them in and, you know, deal with the pins later when you get to them. The only part that I will pin heavily in this is along this edge, because that edge I need to keep straight, so when I move it up I can keep it flat. Bit of a wonky edge, she'll be right. Oh, g'day everyone. My comments aren't showing up on my computer, so apologise if I don't see up. Okay, so I am going to, let me see if I can refresh that again. And I don't want to do anything. So I'm pulling this torch. Now if you've got lines in, like strips or whatever, you can keep them nice and even with your table. That's the beauty of having a table. Other forms, you know, other ways of doing it can't always do that. And on the edge, I'm sort of putting them about. Okay, I'm going to sit, rest my back. Come on. There we go. Might be able to see some comments. Freezing a bit. Oh, okay, good on it. Still, I already rebooted once. Lazy way, the longer. But I have had people who can't get down on the floor, they don't have pool noodles, they don't understand how it works, they don't use spray, they don't know how it happened, how this works, and this is a really good way of doing it. This is something that is doable at any home. So if you notice, I'm really pinning along here, which is my edge. That one there is going to be a little bit wonky. She'll be right in the night. You know my motto, be happy, not perfect. It works for all things, as long as this again, like it's only just off the table. So once you've got that done, it's still freezing, okay. Then you can take your tape off. Or you can just don't take it all off if you don't want to. You can just pull it undone, like pull it up. Pull up this side. Need that stuck down there still. Thank you. Hey, it'll be like that now. Stick down. Down. So lift it up. I'm hoping the replay will be okay for you guys to watch. So just lift it up. Keep your tape there if you want to. I'm just going to leave it on for now. I'll pull it off later. Lift it up, or just drag it up. And you see my back is nice and flat. No qualms there whatsoever. I'm just going to put a couple of chairs here, just so it can sit there. Tape, stay there. Okay. Yeah. Your backing tape, tape your backing down again. Just stay there. Pinned all that top bit, so I don't have to worry about that so much. The wadding I'm not worrying about. I'm going to cut off this excess here. Completely crooked. Straighten that back up. Come on. The fabric's too soft. Alright, there we go. Okay. Now, flip that up. I'm going to iron some more of that on. Yeah. Stay. Again, make sure the pimply side is facing down. And place it there. Trim it here. Get this little fella. Just cut that the length of what I need. Also need one across here. So there and there. We'll watch it later. It's still not playing properly. Yeah, okay, no dramas, guys. It's a shame. I might have to make phone calls. I remember doing that a few years ago, just making these constant phone calls to them. And they'd have me rebooting, restarting, all that stuff all the time, just drive me nuts. Oops, the days. I'll grab the edge of that. Okay, once you've got that on, then you can pull this down. Now the beauty of having the wadding there, it tends to keep it really nice and flat. My quilt's not straight. It's definitely not straight. So I'm going to pin, but what I'm going to, or tape, but what I'm going to do, one's coming in done. There. There's some parts that I need to fix while I'm under the machine, and I can do that as I go. So that's why I've got pins already existing in this, because you know I did it as a live, and of course, you know, just you know me, I don't do anything neat. So I'm just going to take one side down. I'm going to take the other. It's got a bit of a bow in it. I'm okay with that. That'll come out in the wash. That one got me. All right. Okie doke. So you can see there, if I pull down on that tight, it's going to create this real bow I've got going on in it. So I'm going to release that a little rather than having it really, really tight. I'm going to release those, and I'll make them play nice when I'm sewing. Oh, run out of tape. Again, it's going to kill me. I'm using all the tape. Alright. So I'm going to grab these. Just going to bring that down as I go. This is how easy it is to find out how straight or not straight your quilt is. And mine's very not straight. So I'm just going to pull and manipulate now. while I can, and then I'll do the rest on the machine. Use that one, that'll do. So it's not straight on this edge, so I'm literally going to be doing some tug of war. Make it straight over here. You see how, you know, how straight it can be or how crooked it can be. I think it's got a bit of a, it's given a bit over there, but that's all right. As soon as you put it on a table and put it on something straight, you'll see it straight away. And then you'll be cross at yourself and all that. So just let it go. Things. Sorry, this side's given away. The backing fabric phrase. If you need 30,000 pins, then use 30,000 pins. Either way, it will fix in the sewing. Ouch. Found it. Okay. So unlike a long arm, when you're doing this yourself, you know, you're sort of at the beck and call of the fabric, really much. That was tweaking, not twerking. So, you know, depending on what's happening with the quilt, you know, I can see I've sewn a really shitey border, and that's what's created that bow. And if I was to measure it, I would find that it would be different from one side to things for what we're doing and what you know, what I'm making it for. Like literally, it's just, you know, probably something go in Jaden's room or something. he'll just throw it on the end of his bed or whatever. Could go in the cupboard and I'll never see it. You like things to be absolutely perfect. It's all going to come out in your sewing when you're sewing it together. Alright, so now I'm starting to take off this tape. Towel, and you end up with a big ball of tape. What I will suggest is not to buy a really expensive tape because it sticks too hard, like it's too sticky. You want something that comes off easy. If you buy expensive tape, it tends to leave a residue, and that's not what you want. You don't want a residue left on your fabric at all. You can see all that thread. Pull that off. And it'll be harder to pull off your fabric without stretching and ruining your fabric if it's really expensive tape, because it'll really grab on. So this comes off fairly easy. Sometimes you pin it. You go in and find the pin. Get it out. Alrighty. We're done. Now, on this one, that's the top edge. On this edge, I need to add a little bit of wadding to the side, so I can do that. Okay, while I'm standing here. So you can see it's not quite going to the edge. So I'm going to move those pins over. Get in there. I want to move that one. That's fine. Move over. Move over. Tape. Alright, so just fold that back out of the way. Just going to chuck a pin to it just to hold it down. Alright, now I don't need a huge amount, I just need enough to go down both sides, so one side I should say. So one there and one there. And just take that piece off. Get some more of this baby. God, I love this stuff. How much easier does that make? So for those just joining in or seeing this stuff for the first time, this is what I call batting tape. So it's designed to join your batting together, batting joiner I call it actually, batting joiner. And you just cut it the length you need. And a little bit for here. Place that under there. Then you get your iron and make sure the glue side's down, and you literally just press it down. Like I say, if you've got the glue side facing the wrong way, you'll soon find out. Don't knock my coffee over. Big no-no. Oh, I've got a twist in it. No wonder it wouldn't go. And you don't need to have your iron super hot, just warm to hot. Oopsie days. Okay, and all out of the way. Then I'm just going to, where's my pin? Fold them back and pin them down. And that has added on my little bit of extra wadding. I did notice another spot on the other side, which I might have to add a little corner. Lost my pins, I buried them. Oh, they're there. Sorry about that camera move. So she's all pinned down, ready to sew. What time is it now? 12:45. 1:45. 1:45. Sorry, Deb. I moved the camera. I fixed it though. Alright, so then you turn it around, because I've got that other little corner that I noticed, and there's some sides here, so let's do this side as well. Might as well while I'm here. I do have extra wadding, you can see here. So I can cut this bit off here, which probably be easier. haven't been using safety pins, I've just been using normal pins. No, you don't have to use safety pins, you can just use normal pins. People use them, oops, under there, because they're easy to get in and out, that's why. So I've got little bits along here that need to be corrected, so I'm just going to move that up there, fold this back, out of the way, so you should be able to see what I'm doing this time around, Deb. So there's a seam that's come undone that has pulled out, so just fold that back out of your way. Move pins out of the way. So I thought rather than wasting that batting that I had there that I cut wrong, I thought I would utilise it. So this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, just in case you're wondering why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, so turn that up so it's out of the way. You see the side batting, the wadding is all wonky and stuff, that's okay. I'll sort that out in a second. Just pinning that down out of the way so it doesn't only on the top third of the screen. Okay, let me have a look. What do we got? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I moved the, silly me. Hang on, let me unplug that for a bit. There we go. That might help. Shocking connection. Absolutely shocking. Alright, so I'm just going to straighten this up a little. Just that wonky look out of the way. A little bit. Give me a pin. I'm going to move that up a little bit too. There we go. Alright. Oh, I love the colours, so bright, isn't it? Yeah, it reminds me of Licorice All Sorts. That's what it reminds me of. Just move that up there. Okay, so basically, and I've got this little facing down, and away, silly woman. Try that way. Yeah, so I can make kits up of these. If anyone's happy to do them for you. And yeah. Little bit's going to go in here. It's going to be too long. Alrighty. So again, I've got it laying with the in the center, so it's centered over the top of that wadding roughly. It's nothing's perfect. Bit of glue on this. I think it keeps catching on things. Don't know yet, Deb. I would have to work it out for you, love. I wouldn't have a clue on the kits. I just know. Yeah. And the kit will have all the papers. It is foundation paper piecing, but it's the best way, especially with all those lines. Obviously, don't, you know. So, but in the pattern, it has a way to do it. All right. So then, once you've done that, unpin as you go, and just pin that back down. So So that needs to overlap. Got to finish a quilt. Very happy. Not mine, but for a customer. That's nice. Nice to do. All right. Looks like a lot of straight lines. It is easy to make, yes, it is easy. You see, there's no creases. It's all good. Okay, so it looks fine. Fine to me, that is all good. Bit of stuff on the ground. All right, now, I'm going to flip that back. Now, you have a top, bottom and two sides. And the reason why I can tell that is because that's where that selvage of the wadding is. That's my top. So that'll be where I'm going to start. Just got to unhook it. Just that top row, I'm going to start at the top and then lay down. So that's why it doesn't really matter if you have not as many pins, because as you do that one row, then you're just going to, you know, straighten out as you go, and you'll pull it straight. If you try and do it other ways, like in the center, work out and top, that's how you end up with all these creases. A small area, like table wise, then, you know, you might need to roll it a bit tighter. But I tend to have this on the outside, okay, of facing away from the machine. Has got pins in it, so remember that. Some more pins. You can use your safety pins if you want to, and just, I'll just get in here and just pin that roll down. Get yourself organised before you get to your machine. Some people use bull clips and all sorts of things. There's no real right and wrong with this. It's just a technique. So it's going to be relevant. Then get this. Oops, there's. And just roll it up. This is going to be probably sitting on your lap, almost. Just watch those pins. I've got a pin in my hand. Too thick. You might, if you've got a long pin or, you know, a really big clip or something, you might be able to clip that down. Where is what I'm thinking of? Or your safety pin. You can do your safety pin and you can pin that in like that, and that just holds it there. Because when I first start, I'm going to be working in, and as I'm sewing, like when I first start sewing, I'm actually going to be removing these pins in where I'm going to be working. So they're going to be taken out as I go. Now, if you wanted to, before you can move them. I prefer to do it when I'm under the machine and I've got the needle into it. So that is the first start of it. So does that sort of help? You love the backing? It's good backing. I've got another bolt of that. It's about 35 a metre. With the internet the way it is, it's going to drive you guys nuts. I'm going to do that in the next fortnight. I think we're doing it once a fortnight. I'd have to have a look at my diary. But that gives you an idea of where we're going to start. So now what I'm going to do is I'll be taking this. I'll be doing some stitch in the ditch first. Yep. Horrible, I know. And then I'm going to basically use, and I'm going to use the pounce pad. Yeah, so I'll be stitching in the ditch a lot of here, pounce padding in here. I'll be keeping this fairly basic. Obviously, you see, if you cut your threads, ones or these bigger blocks, I have them on the other side of it as well, in the middle, is to do a design, which will be using the pounce pads. So that's the start of it, but this gives you an idea how you get to that. And then once you've got it like this, then you can put it underneath your machine. Now I'll just roll my machine forward because I have a Jack A6F. Yes, I know. You are jealous. No, no, no. I can roll it forward. And I can then turn. You're going to see all my mess there. And, oops, dropped tweezers, found a dust bunny. When I'm wanting to, get all that out of the way. Break on. When I'm wanting to, I can have it going that way. I've got plenty of room underneath here, and I can start the other end and work my way across. So depending on what I want to do as to how I want to quilt this, as to how easy it's going to be to maneuver and roll around. So one block at a time, one block at a time. So I will start with doing some of these straight lines. I don't have to do them all, I just have to do some, and then I can, you know, the rest of them I can decorate other ways. There to tell you, you'll need your quilting gloves. I could do this all free motion foot as well if I wanted to, and use rulers. That can work really, really well. Might even be easier because I don't have a walking foot, or you could do it just, you know, the same way I am. What I'm going to do, you can do on your sit down machine. Okay, the only thing you can't do is roll it back and forwards unless you've got a rolly table like I have. So whatever I do, you can do on your normal standard sit down machine, as long as you can drop those feed dogs and as long as you can put a free motion quilting foot on it. Exactly what I'm doing. All right, so I'm hoping that you got majority of all that, you'll understand where I am. So the next time we sit down to do this, to do the quilting, it'll be actually needle to the fabric. Live with Adele. Yeah, you've missed her. I know, I've missed her. So tonight live with Adele. Excited, and she's been a long time since we've seen her, and yeah, pretty happy about that. So we will see you tonight.